How to learn to trust a Gemini. Before delving into the issue of trust, let's get to know Gemini a little better. They are the third sign of the zodiac, and their ruler is the planet Mercury, which is responsible for communication, thinking, and information. Geminis are an air sign, which gives them a light-hearted nature and a desire for new knowledge and communication. Key Gemini traits: duality and versatility. Geminis are people with two faces. They can be different depending on the situation and their mood. This doesn't mean they are dishonest or insincere, but rather that their multifaceted nature can adapt to different conditions. This quality can be both a strength and a cause for misunderstanding. Love of communication. Geminis are masters of communication. They are always ready to engage in conversation, learn something new, share experiences, and make new acquaintances. They easily attract attention and are good at maintaining a conversation, but can sometimes veer away from deep communication in favor of lightness and superficiality. Instability and fickleness. Geminis are prone to change and easily become bored with routine tasks and monotonous situations. This can apply to both work and personal relationships. If Geminis feel that something is becoming boring or predictable, they may lose interest. Intelligence and curiosity. One of Gemini's strongest aspects is their intellect. They are always seeking new knowledge, unafraid of change, and can be incredibly passionate about a variety of topics. This makes them interesting conversationalists, but sometimes, overly enthusiastic about the search for new things, they can seem superficial. Why can it be difficult to trust Geminis? Now let's look at the aspects that can make trusting a Gemini difficult. Due to their personality and behavioral characteristics, trusting them can be challenging, especially if you're not used to people who are prone to change and unpredictability. Changeability of mood and interests. Geminis can change their opinions or interests almost at every turn. What interested them strongly yesterday may be forgotten today. This can create the feeling that Geminis are inconsistent and unreliable, which affects trust. Example. Imagine you're planning a trip with a Gemini, and at the last minute, they decide to change the route because they've found something more exciting. This behavior may seem capricious or disrespectful, but for Geminis, it's simply a way to make life more interesting. Uncertainty in relationships. Since Geminis are not inclined toward stability and are attached to change, this can create a feeling of instability in the relationship. Geminis may not be as committed to one person or idea as other signs, which can be troubling for those who value consistency and certainty. Example. You may notice that Geminis may suddenly start communicating with someone new or change their position on important issues. This can be frustrating if you expect consistency and dislike change. Difficulty with depth of communication. Despite their sociability, Geminis often avoid deep and serious conversations. They can be fun and engaging conversationalists, but when it comes to important emotions and discussions about feelings, they can be less forthcoming, which can lead to feelings of mistrust. Example. When you want to talk about serious feelings or relationship issues, Geminis may avoid the conversation, switching to something lighter or humorous. This can leave you feeling that Geminis are not ready to open up and trust. Difficulty with commitment. Because Geminis often seek new experiences and change, they may have difficulty making commitments. In relationships, this can manifest itself in Geminis not always being willing to make long-term promises or take serious steps forward if they feel it limits their freedom. How do Geminis show trust? Now let's look at how Geminis show trust. Geminis aren't typically overly open, but when they trust, their attitude and actions can reveal a lot. Openness in communication. When Geminis begin to trust, they become more open. They may share their thoughts and experiences, open up about feelings and emotions that they usually hide from others. Geminis show trust through their willingness to engage in deeper communication and openness. Example: when Geminis begin to open up to you about their past, their doubts, or the difficulties they've experienced, it's a sign that they trust you. They begin to view you as a close person with whom they can open up their thoughts and feelings. Involvement in your life. Geminis won't actively participate in your life if they don't trust you. They may accept you as part of their circle and share important things with you, such as telling you about their plans or keeping you updated on what's going on. Support in challenging situations. When Geminis trust, they become more supportive and willing to help you in difficult situations. They will stand by your side, but do so in their own way through words of encouragement, help in finding a solution, or simply providing information. How to learn to trust a Gemini. Now let's move on to practical tips on how to learn to trust a Gemini. Trust can be built if you are willing to understand their characteristics and approach the relationship with patience. Don't try to control them. Geminis don't like being limited. If you want a Gemini to trust you, give them freedom. Don't impose your decisions on them or demand complete predictability. Let them be themselves. Example: if a Gemini decides to go to a party or spend time with friends, don't try to stop them or restrict them. Understanding their need for communication and freedom will create the foundation for a trusting relationship. Be patient with their fickleness. Accept that Geminis can change their plans, interests, and even opinions. Learn to accept this as a natural part of their personality. They don't do this intentionally. They simply seek new experiences and stimuli. Create space for open communication. If you want Geminis to trust you, it's important to create a space where they feel comfortable and can openly discuss their feelings. Avoid pressure and obligations. Allow them to share their thoughts with you without fear of judgment. Don't demand consistency from Geminis. Understanding that Geminis are a sign that values change and novelty will help you more easily accept their behavior. Don't expect stability from them that they can't provide. The benefits of trusting Geminis. Why should you learn to trust Geminis? Here are a few reasons why it's worth it. Intellectual stimulation. Geminis can inspire new ideas and discussions. You'll never be bored with them, as their hobbies and interests are always varied. Flexibility and adaptability. Geminis can easily adapt to change and find solutions in any situation. If you learn to trust them, you'll find a partner who isn't afraid of change and is always willing to explore new paths. Sociability and support. Geminis can be excellent friends and partners, always there for you, ready to support and help, even if it's not always apparent at first glance. So, learning to trust a Gemini is a matter of patience and understanding. These people are multifaceted, changeable, and independent, but if you can accept them as they are, your relationship will be full of bright moments, intellectual growth, and mutual support.